Have you ever dealt with someone who demands the world, but can't lift a finger for anyone else? Well, imagine being stuck with a mother-in-law who acts like a black hole, pulling joy, peace, and sanity out of every room she enters. So when she claimed an entire tractor, a pile of tools she couldn't even name, and threatened to sue her own daughter over it, I did what any calm, rational, sleep-deprived son-in-law would do. I delivered all her treasures right to her driveway at 2 a.m. And the best part, she made the police call me. Before we get into this delicious midnight revenge, hit that like button, subscribe, and tell me in the comments what's the pettiest hill you've ever seen someone die on. Because today, we're climbing the mother-in-law mountain. Let me introduce you to my mother-in-law. Imagine a woman who believes the universe revolves around her, but somehow also believes every inconvenience happening within a 40-mile radius is a personal attack. That's her. A walking contradiction wrapped in narcissism and perfume that smells like expired powdered sugar. Now, she lives in Long Island and she refuses to drive off the island. Not because she can't. Oh, she can. She just won't. Unless it's for something important, like a rare lamp from an auction in Greenwich, Connecticut. Yes, for a lamp, she'll cross 3 bridges and the gates of hell. For her grandkids' birthdays? Absolutely not. I learned early in our marriage, her priorities are like a roulette wheel operated by a drunk ferret. 5 years ago, my wife and I bought her uncle's cabin in upstate New York. 17 acres of quiet, woods, fresh air, a cabin that needed a little love, and 2 old Ford farm tractors on the property. It was perfect. Even better. The contract said, all contents convey, meaning everything on the property became ours. Tools, sheds, tractors, misc junk, everything. Her uncle didn't care. He lived in Bay Ridge. What was he going to do? Drive a tractor down Flatbush Avenue? So we fixed the place up. We took the kids there every summer. It became our sanctuary, at least until she called. One evening, my wife's phone lit up with her mother's name. Even the ringtone sounded stressed. My wife answered, and I could hear her mother screeching through the phone loud enough to rattle the picture frames. Apparently, she inherited a bunch of stuff from her late brother, stuff that had been sitting in one of our sheds, stuff she never used, stuff she didn't come claim for years. She insisted the following items belonged to her: a chainsaw she's too scared to turn on, a shop vac, a rusted toolbox, random tools she couldn't identify, and the piece de résistance. One of the tractors, the crappy one, the non-running metal coffin of a tractor. She demanded all of it. Not eventually, not sometime soon, right now. My wife, bless her soul, tried explaining, "Mom, you should have taken anything you wanted before we bought the place. It all transferred to us." But nope. Her mother doubled down. She threatened to sue us over a tractor that doesn't run, tools covered in spiderwebs, and a shop vac from the Clinton administration. My wife was shaking after that call. She hates conflict. Me? I was annoyed, but also inspired. I told her, "Don't worry, I'll take care of it." And oh, I meant it. We tried everything. We offered to sell the tractor for her and give her the money. She screamed, "No." We told her we were tearing down the shed and needed the stuff gone. She threatened to lawyer up. We told her we'd bring the small things next time we visited. She threatened that too. Every option. Rejected. Every compromise. Shut down. She wanted the tractor, but she didn't want to pick it up. She wanted the tools, but she didn't want them brought to her. She just wanted to control the situation. And that's when it clicked. If she wants control so badly, I'm about to give her all of it. The next weekend, we were at the cabin. I pulled the beat-up tractor out of the shed, gathered every tool, chainsaw, shop vac, and weird metal thing I couldn't identify. My wife saw me and asked, "What are you doing?" I said, "Just organizing your mom's stuff." She rolled her eyes. "Whatever. Leave it outside. I don't care." That was the moment, the tiny green light on my mental dashboard, because while everyone slept, I started working. At 1:30 a.m., I hooked up my trailer, quietly, slowly, like I was defusing a bomb. Then came the hard part, winching the dead tractor onto the trailer. That thing weighed as much as my disappointment in humanity, heavy as hell. I winched it inch by inch. Every metal screech made my soul leave my body. I kept whispering, "Shh," to a machine that absolutely does not care. Then I packed all her precious garbage into a giant wooden crate, 4 feet by 4 feet, 3 feet tall. Built sturdy. Overkill? Yes. But it was also extremely satisfying. By 2 a.m., I was on the road. 2.5 hours. Pitch black. My only company? The tractor, some tools, and my growing sense of villain-level joy. At 2:10 a.m., I pulled into her neighborhood. A fancy neighborhood, the type with security cameras, motion lights, and neighbors who call the cops if a squirrel looks suspicious. I backed into her driveway with surgeon-like precision. Ramps down. Jacks placed carefully. A sweater under the jack to reduce noise. Pro-sabotage mode. I winched the tractor off, rolled the crate next to it. It weighed at least 300 pounds, and I nearly dislocated my spine. But damn, was it worth it. I got everything neatly lined up beside her car, like Santa's nightmare delivery. I hopped back into my truck, heart pounding, hands shaking, a grin splitting my face in half. I felt alive, like Jason Bourne, but for pettiness. At 5:45 a.m., my wife called. "Where did you go?" I said. "Getting breakfast." So I went and actually bought breakfast, bagels, coffee, donuts, to complete my alibi. I was giggling the whole time, like a serial killer in a bakery. My wife asked why the trailer was still hooked up. I shrugged. Not sure if I'm going to the lumberyard. Inside, I was vibrating with anticipation. 8 a.m. Nothing. 8:30. Silence. 9 a.m. Nobody had gone outside yet. At 9:15, the call. My wife glared at her phone like it had personally betrayed her. "Ugh, it's my mom," I said. "Pick it up." The moment the call connected, you could hear her mother shrieking, not talking, not yelling, dolphin frequency screaming. My wife just stared in horror. I walked over, took the phone, put it on speaker, and said, "You wanted your tractor. You got it." Then I hung up. My wife burst into laughter. The calls didn't stop. 10 more. Then texts threatening to call the cops. At 1 p.m., I got a call from a Long Island police department. I took a deep breath. "Hello? Hi, this is Officer so-and-so. I'm here with..." I hear her in the background. "They dumped a tractor on my property." The officer asks, "Sir, did you drop off a tractor and a crate?" I reply calmly, "That's all her stuff. She threatened to sue us if we sold it, so we returned it." The officer sighs, deeply, spiritually. He asks her, "Is this your tractor?" She admits, "Yes, but I don't want it here." The officer pauses. I can feel the brain cells dying. "Do you have a storage contract with them?" "No." "So? It's your property?" "Yes." "And you don't want your property on your property?" She sputters, I want them to take it back." The officer says something that made my entire soul smile. "There's nothing illegal here unless you want to file trespassing charges. But, you'd have to prove he was on your property." She goes silent. The officer realizes exactly what kind of person she is. The man wants off this call so badly it hurts. Eventually, he just says, "Ma'am, this is a civil issue, not criminal," and hangs up. My mother-in-law didn't talk to us for 6 months. 6 beautiful months. No calls, no texts, no drama, no manipulation, just peace. Honestly, best revenge I've ever executed. This wasn't loud revenge. It wasn't violent. It wasn't dramatic in a Hollywood way. It was quiet, calm, surgical. She wanted control. She wanted power. She wanted to make our lives miserable over a tractor she didn't even use. So I gave her exactly what she asked for. Nothing more. Nothing less. Her driveway looked like a scrapyard. Her neighbors probably thought she was starting a demolition derby. She called the cops on her own stuff. And the best part? She created the entire problem herself. That's the beauty of petty revenge. Sometimes the cleanest revenge is simply giving someone exactly what they demanded. At the end of the day, this story isn't just about a tractor. It's about boundaries and about people who lose their minds the moment they can't control you anymore. Sometimes the universe won't deliver justice. So you deliver it at 2 a.m. on a trailer. If this story made you smile, laugh, or scream, "She deserved it," then hit that like button, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying petty revenge you've ever pulled off? I'll be reading every single one. Thanks for watching. And remember, sometimes karma needs a little push or a tractor.